And it is great now to introduce a rock star in the world of sports marketing on stage. He mixes sports, tech, and education to create a global gaming empire. He is Senior Vice President of Global Marketing for EFG, and he has a lot to talk about. We are going to welcome him as a rock star, with a video, and then he's going to come on stage. His name is Fabio Tambosi, and he looks forward to giving you a wonderful keynote. Here's the video, and then he comes on stage, and we can't wait to hear him and see him. Welcome in a minute, Fabio Tambosi.
It's a goldfish. You know why?
No.
It's got a 10-second memory. Be a goldfish, Sam. Yeah? Yeah, you got it. Go ahead.
Everyone, so I'm not gonna lie to you. Coming after Emily in Paris is gonna be very hard to match. So, I'm Fabio Tambosi. Today I'm gonna talk to you guys about something that I'm extremely passionate about it, which is actually attention. The reason I chose Ted Lasso as one of the opening quotes, I know the audio is a little bit low, is because he tells his player to have the memory of a goldfish, which is a 10-second memory. And today's Gen Z's attention span are extremely hard to get it, to retain, and to engage with them. And as a marketer, what I love about what I do at a ESL FACE Group is that we help brands tell their stories with this young generation in a very authentic and meaningful way through esports and gaming. But what has been keeping me up at night is actually attention. So I want to thank you for joining me today. Hopefully you're going to enjoy what you're going to see. And let's just get going. And we know that today's society, attention is one of the most valuable currencies that we can have as a business, as a company, as friends, as family members. But the problem that we have in marketing is that people are getting constantly bombarded by thousands and thousands of messages, advertising, and it makes it extremely hard to get their attention and even harder to keep their attention. I know this statement here on the board is pretty cliche. We say attention equals time, and time equals money. And attention today, within marketing, it is the new gold rush. So we have to really grab their attention, connect that with them in a meaningful way. The challenge, there's a lot of challenges going to come with this, and I'm going to unpack the behavior, the consumption behavior of Gen Zs, and I'm going to connect their consumption behavior with how they are interacting with the esports and gaming today. So the traditional methods are becoming less and less effective. This generation, they are multi-device. They're constantly interacting and engaging with different platforms at the same time. And it's a two-way dialogue with them. You have to create a platform where they can connect with you, that they can have a voice, and they're very, very critical whether or not this is relevant for them. I'm going to take us back a little bit to 2015, when social media had its second boom. And what happened to the attention span is shortened from 12 seconds to 3 seconds. And then the scrolling behavior and the toggling between one platform and another makes extremely hard to get there, to capture them, and even more difficult. But then let's take that consumption behavior and how they engage in interacting with brands through the lens of the demographic, psychographic of this generation. 1 out of 4 people in the world in 2024 are Gen Zs. So if we think Gen Zs are the consumers of the future, they are very much present right now. And out of this population of Gen Zs, more than half of them play video game at least once a week. So they are in that space. They're native to gaming. They're native to sports. So it's a no-brainer that it makes sense to stay connected with them by using esports and gaming as a platform. A few more stats for us. 4 out of 5 of everyone who is online today plays video game, and more than half of Gen Zs plays video games in more than one platform. So if you take them into another layer that I want to peel, is how they're engaging with esports and gaming. 52% of Gen Zs who prefers to watch games, video games, competitive game online, than actually playing. And 76% of this audience engages with esports. And the interesting aspect that I'm going to reveal to you guys next is there's usually this myth that young generation, they don't have a spending power. And when we look that by 2031, Gen Zs are going to surpass millennials on spending power with $330 billion a year. $330 billion a year. And then the number you see on the right here, which is 184 billion, is the annual revenue generated by video games. Just to give you guys a little bit of understanding of what that size means, it is larger than the music and the movies industry combined. So you have a highly engaged audience. You have an audience that is willing to spend, and you have a market of 184 billion. When we take this a little bit further, what are this generation actually creating of content? 24 billion of hours watched a year. 3.3 billion people in the world plays video games. And when you take 1 out of 4 of the world population play games as a Gen Z, that's 2.1 billion Gen Zs playing video game at least twice a week. And by the end of 2025, we will have 640 million esports fans. So again, 1 out of 4 people around the world, 330 billion in spending power, more than once a week. And when they watch esports, at least once a week, they are connected for around 4 hours on average every time they're engaging. So not only you have their attention, you have an extremely captivated audience that participates in the conversation with your brand. This picture here, it's one of the pictures that I love the most from one of our tournaments. I was born and raised in Brazil, the football country. And as a tradition in Brazil, I did not get to choose the football team I support because it comes from my grandparents, to my dad, and then to me. Luckily, they had a good taste, and I'm a São Paulo fan, and we win a lot and very often. But this picture here, it's a young father and mother, Gen Zs, with their baby daughter coming to our event. And this is what we're calling as generational fandom. The stigmas that I had growing up, where my mom and my dad did not let me play video games for more than 2 hours on a Sunday, now, gaming, it is a bonding moment within the family and the household for this generation. So the biggest business challenge that most emerging categories usually have, which is to drive adoption and participation, you don't have in this space. They are native to esports and gaming. And all of this actually influenced something even more. It influenced culture. So often we think of how entertainment might reflect culture. In this space, I can tell you that video games are shaping culture. Back when I was growing up, movies would become video games. Today, you're seeing the inflow coming the other way around, where games are becoming Hollywood blockbusters. Here's an example, The Last of Us. My dad is obsessed with that show. He has no idea it's actually a game. When you look at it, Disney took a $1.5 billion stake on Fortnite. That is telling. They're not going to cut a $1.5 billion check if they don't see a return at the end of it. And then one of our favorite examples from ESL FACEIT Group is the collaboration that we did with Gucci Academy, to welcome and invite and encourage more women to come into esports and gaming. I won't go through all of them, but what is important when you're thinking and you're considering about coming into this space is that esports and gaming is not one-dimensional. This space, it is multiple dimension. One of the guiding principles we have in our marketing team at ESL FACEIT Group is that we work with a FLAN. A FLAN is a flexible plan, because you can have a plan, but things are going to change. Interacting and engaging with this community, it has to be very iterative. And you can have a plan, but things will change. Here's some of the things that makes this platform and this community extremely engaging and active. When they're participating and watching esports, they're live streaming parties. They're co-creating. You see here on the right side, Get Dunked. This is a 16-year-old kid who took over one of the tournaments by storm, broke all the records in the world, and within 2 minutes, there were memes being created, there were T-shirts being selling online, and just using what happened in that moment. And then the co-streaming, when two people from all over the world are co-streaming, playing with each other, but then connecting with millions of people at the same time. And the last one, which is one that I like the most, I think you guys noticed, I like to tell a little personal story. Growing up, I had to play within my neighborhood. I couldn't go too far because it was dangerous, and my parents were worried. We didn't have mobile phones. Now this community is borderless. They are connecting with people in different countries, in different regions. And this is what makes this extremely exciting, because it's no longer just about playing. It's about connecting with people across borders. And we have a place for this. It's what we call the home of esports and gaming. I want to welcome you guys to EFG. We are a place where we create worlds beyond gameplay. And I'm going to tell you a little bit about what does that mean, and how do we create worlds beyond gameplay. But here's some of our stats. This year, we're tracking to finish the year with 522 million of hours watched online, 225 million fan reach, unique fans, 3.8 billion impressions, and we have more than 120 events and calendar in the year, either online in our digital platform, FACEIT, or in Chengdu in China, in Tokyo in Japan, in Dallas in the United States, here in Cologne, in Stockholm. And the way we do this, Worlds Beyond Gameplay, means the following. We do everything on the periphery of a game title. The beauty and the strength of EFG is that we don't work with only one game. We work with all the publishers in the world. Here's just some of the examples, like EA Sports, Activision, Blizzard, Tencent, Ubisoft. And then on top, you see some of our most lasting partners. Intel, for example, they have been on a journey with us for more than 20 years. DHL just renewed. We're going on 8 years. Monster has been with us for about 10 years. I'm putting those numbers out there and the length of the relationship because the way we work, we don't have a program that's off the shelf. We partner with the brands and we create a bespoke program to onboard them into this ecosystem. The reason why we do this, Gen Zs are extremely critical of brands coming into this space. And if you go in, not in an authentic way that it's authentic to you, and it's creating value for them, they will reject you. But the important thing of EFG is because we have so many game titles in a very large inventory, there is a game title that is brand safe for any brand in the world. So the diversity of the ecosystem really helps make it easier to come into this space. And if you chose this section, because I told you in the abstract that I was going to give you the cheat code, how to come into this place, I'm going to hand this over to you guys here. So these are the 5 golden rules that we use in marketing at EFG. First, fan first. What does that mean? Everybody says, put your consumer at the center. The voice of the consumer is what matters. For us at EFG, if it does not work for our fans, we will not do it. We've walked away from so many good ideas that just did not make sense because it's going to add no value to the community. Speak their language, understand the codes, and use it. Don't use the corporate jargons. We're going to drive high engagement, brand awareness. No. Talk to them using their language. One of the things that, as a marketer, I had to get very comfortable with is that once I joined EFG 18 months ago, I realized that I was probably the farthest away from the community. And some of the best creative marketers we have in our team is our 19, 20-year-old interns because they have no filter. They understand this community. So we have to empower and let our teams work. The third piece is everybody says, hey, tell me, who is a gamer? There's not a single definition of a gamer because it's so diverse that when you look at it, you have to look from a cohort perspective and think in tribes. Point number 4, they will smell BS from miles away. Not only they will smell BS, but they'll call you out of it. So if you make a mistake, own the mistake, admit the mistake, and work with them to solve. And the last one, which is also difficult for big brands, this space is their space. Your brand is their brand. So let the audience expression be the voice of your message, be the voice of your show. And this is one of the ways that at EFG we are winning the attention game for this generation. If you thought I was going to leave here with all the answers in the world, I'm sorry, I don't have them. And I'm not trying to have them. But I just want to leave you with a thought. If we take ourselves back to the early 2000s, the brands that didn't go into embrace the social media growth, they regretted a decade later. So I'm asking you today, when do you want to come in? Now or later? Because eventually, you're going to have to. What I've seen now in this evolution and transformation of esports and gaming into culture is very similar to what happened in social media in the early 2000s. For those who were there at that time, social media, when it started up, it was on the innovation team. Let's see what this is. and they'll put it in the innovation team. A few years go by, oh, this is a digital marketing. And then they created functions under digital marketing. Now you have entire organizations called social media. And they're eating the biggest pie of traditional advertising. So I want to leave you with a video that actually shows EFG's world beyond gameplay. Thank you.